Hey, it's Ray Regan here, and I'm going to talk about today, obviously, what what transpired yesterday. I spoke about it briefly yesterday, but I'm going to take a little different approach today. What I want to discuss with everyone is I'm going to bring up some of these memes and some stuff I saw on social media that's making things worse. Of course, even uh, our new president-elect Biden, um, and even he's stoking flames to the fire, talking about if that was a bunch of black men, it would have never happened, and you know, like I said, I'm going to go into some of these things with the memes, and we'll talk. Well, I'll go into more detail about that, but I just quickly wanted to touch bases about that because that's what's tearing this country apart. Um, and so, with that being said, let's get to these other videos. So here's the first thing I'm going to go into. Um, There's someone I know put this up. During the past 4 years, I have not seen a photo capture Trumpism so perfectly as this one that was taken at a Capitol yesterday. We must root out this evil. So obviously, because I'm on the right, and I'm someone who did vote for President Trump. Of course, this all has to be linked, and you know, if you look at the bottom, one of the responses is the privilege of white supremacy on full display in D.C. yesterday. This is why I do not understand how anyone can willingly stand on the side with self-proclaimed white supremacist groups. What white supremacist groups, open white supremacist groups, were there? And if you're going to tell me Proud Boys, the Proud Boys is run by an Afro-Cuban. That's to me, that's just your. This is the one. This is what I'm going to go into more. And after I touch all these memes, I'm going to go in. This is just. This is what's destroying this country. This is what's tearing at the fabric of our country. Is this? Is people still obsessed with race? And is if you're pushing everything and everything's about race, then look in the mirror. If you're the one that's stressing race about everything, maybe you're the racist. And that whole thing about being power. Guess what? You could say white people have power, but let's see, us people who are libertarian, right-leaning, what do we have on the mainstream news? Fox. What else? Mainstream. Because I'm not talking about online sources. I'm not talking about radio. I'm not talking about websites. But I'm talking about mainstream news. Who do the right have? Fox News. That's it. You have fledgling Newsmax and OANN. That's up and coming. I mean, not fledgling, up and coming. But they're still not mainstream. But what? You have ABC, CBS, NBC, MSNBC, CNN, MSNBC. All the regular news stations all lean left. And if you tell me they're not biased, you're full of it. I'm like, I give you CNN. They're Chris Cuomo, who's his brother, the Democratic governor of New York. Let's say ABC, George Stephanopoulos worked in the Clinton campaign. Let's see, you could keep going. The list goes on. There's not many people. Now, if I tell you, find me a Trump supporter, find me a Republican, not one of these never Trumper Republicans, but find me a real Republican. Anyway, let's go to the next one. Like I said, I was talking about the race. Here's what I'm talking about. Do you think a black American could get away with this? With the chaos that happened yesterday? Yes. That's the whole thing. I mean, people forget about what? You forget about all the rioting and looting that happened in the summer? people stealing, breaking, burning stores down, and how many people got arrested for all the looting? And the media was okay with it. The media was perfectly fine. I mean, I remember a quote from Chris Cuomo saying, where does it say that a protest has to be polite and peaceful? Like, you're a lawyer. It's in the Constitution. But this is this sort of thing that's destroying our country. And here you're going to see a picture. I just put this because I thought it was hilarious. The deadliest virus in America is the media. And I will say it is. It is. The media doesn't do news, they do opinion. And that's the problem right now. The problem is we're in a stage where the media is not telling us facts. They tell us opinions. They tell us their side of what a story is. It's not a story. It's not the story. It's a story. And so, like I said, to me, it's the media. The media, it bleeds, it leads. It's fueling all of this. And the problem is, they don't even know it. I mean, we talking about with both sides. It's like, when Trump was elected, it wasn't, you had people were wishing for a recession. People wanted, you know what it took to make the recession under Trump? The coronavirus, the lockdowns. That's what finally hurt the economy. And even then, that's all that crushed it. But the economy was booming for everybody. It didn't matter your race. It didn't matter your religion, whatever. It didn't matter. Everybody was doing well. And relatively speaking, people don't realize how good we have things in this country. Just, people that talk about white privilege, just being born in this country, you're privileged. Go overseas and see how some people live. Maybe here or there that there may be things that other countries do better. But let's say, for example, Holocaust denial, climate change denial. In Germany, you can't deny the Holocaust. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I know it happened. I worked for someone who had a tattoo on his arm, so I know it happened. But I should be able to say it without being blocked by the government. The government shouldn't do that. And not even, these social media companies, they shouldn't be able to do it either. As much as, you mean not like what Trump is saying? It's not the place of these social media companies to shut that down. And they're getting, they're doing it with other people in the media too. Even me yesterday's video, I couldn't put it up on YouTube and Rumble. I was afraid that what's the point of me going through all the work of uploading my video onto YouTube if YouTube's going to censor it. So I didn't. And so if we're going to come together, talking about this, arrest Trump supporters, arrest these Republicans who they were objecting to the certification. It's happened before. The media tells you, oh my God, it's unprecedented. No, it's happened before. It's happened before, but they tell you that because it's their guy. It's their guy that they want there in there. But it shouldn't matter whether it's your guy or the other guy. It doesn't matter. If you're rooting for that person to fail and for this country to fail, you got a problem. Like as much as I'm worried about where this country's headed in the next couple of years. I hope we do well, because if the country's doing well, I'm doing well. If the country's going crap, that means my life is going there too. And to get at the end of the day, I'm not calling for us to be arm in arm singing Kumbaya, but we have to learn how to talk with these issues with one another. We, family members, friends, we need to be able to talk. You can't go, oh, you disagree with me, you're racist. Oh, you disagree with me, you're transphobic. Oh, you're homophobic. Disagreement doesn't mean that I'm against you. Disagreement just means I just agree with. I just think it's a different solution. People want people think that being anti-racist means you got to be active anti-racist, which means, in some senses, being racist toward other people, which to me makes no sense. It's like, why are you going to pass black-only laws or Spanish-only laws? It's dumb. It's really dumb. All it's going to do is just make more. It's going to make more racist. It's going to make people. This is all fueling the division. It's like, and I know this personally. I'm a light-skinned Puerto Rican. I know how it goes. I remember all my friends were either darker, or they were half black, half Puerto Rican. So I was always the light one. I had, all my other friends were darker than me. So they used to call me Race. That was my nickname because I'm light and white. I was round and white because I'm a heavyset guy. So what? But you'd be like, no, I'm not white. I'm Puerto Rican. And what happened? And that, banter with my friends that, they're just messing around with me. A white cop got offended and said, hey kid, what about if I call you an effing spick? And guess what? That happened. I could hate cops forever after he did that, but I don't, because that was just one person. And here's the problem. If you're going to just put everybody together, all blacks, all Latinos, all whites, we're all different. That's the whole thing. Like, you have, you can't say the N word, because if I said it, YouTube would probably censor me. But if I say if you get called an Uncle Tom, you get called a coconut, you're being derogatory towards someone because of the color of their skin. But it's okay. It's acceptable. Because calling someone a name based on their skin or their race, their ethnicity, it's okay when you lean left and it's someone who's right. And that's disturbing. That's the world we're living in. So we want unity. We have to be able to talk. Stop with the, if you want change with the whole cops, become a cop. Go into the system. Change the system from within. Why you think, I remember seeing when all this stuff that was going on, you saw black police chiefs resigning. I thought that was a tragedy. Those are the people there that are trying to solve the problem, and you force them to resign. You want to fix the problem with the police, you fix that. As much as I don't like AOC and the rest of the members of the squad, guess what? You know what? I give them credit for they want change. They went into government to try to make the change. If that's what you want, if you're not happy as a Democrat or a Republican with whoever represents you, go and change it. Go run for city council. Go run for the local sheriff. You want that change? Change it there. Because guess what? Changing the president, it's not going to affect your day-to-day life. That's why I'm not, I'm worried, but it's not there. It's not always going to be there it's always going to be there in the back of my mind, but not the front. Because your local politics will affect your day-to-day life more. Now, with that said, please, people, stop. You got your friends who lean left, and tell them, look, listen. If we want to talk about this, we gotta start with stop calling people racist, homophobic, whatever, whichever ism you want to call them. We need to stop with that, because that's not putting the conversation forward. All you're doing is people are just gonna be quiet, and not talk, because they're not going to listen. You're not going to listen to each other. Say why is some. It's an opinion. Like they used to. All 4 years of Trump, they said he's a racist. Oh, he's a racist. It's a fact. It's a fact. No, it's an opinion. It's an opinion. It's not a fact. You're talking about someone who dated black women. You're talking about someone who supported black charities. You're talking about someone who won awards from black organizations, and then he ran as a Republican. Now he's a racist, and that's the way it works. If you have any inclination of that you're not a liberal or you're not progressive, then you're racist. Because progressives are for minorities. They're not for me. Because I disagree with to me progressives is just a way of saying, I'm socialist, I'm a Marxist without exactly saying that. Because to me, to me that's where there's no more liberals. The liberals are becoming progressive and becoming socialist. They're no longer liberals. So talk to your friends. Try. I try. I try. And sometimes with some people I don't. Even in my own family, it drives you crazy. But sometimes, not just for the good of the country, but for the good of the world, we have to be able to talk to each other about each other's differences. So, okay, I could keep going, but I got kids to take care of. So, if you like this video, please subscribe and like, share it, please, also, because Facebook and and Twitter and stuff are gonna make this videos like this hard, because I'm not talking about falling in line. I'm talking about talking and trying to settle our differences by talking. Not burning down buildings, storming the Capitol, looting, rioting, none of that stuff. Let's not. It needs to start with the individual, and the individual go to the group. So have a good evening.